Hi, and welcome to Mary's Moments with God. Have you ever been afraid? I've been afraid lots of times. And when I remember Isaiah 41:10, where he tells me, "Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. I will help you." There's all kinds of situations that make us afraid, aren't there? I have a grandson that's starting school at a brand new school. I'm sure he's afraid. He doesn't know anybody. And so that first day is going to be really hard, isn't it? There are other times we start a new job. We don't know what to expect. Is it going to be what we think it's going to be or not? Or we get a diagnosis and we're afraid. We're afraid of what that means. We lose a loved one and we're afraid. We're afraid of what that means. And I hate to fly. I'm afraid to fly. So I got on an airplane because I had to. It was a job that required me to do a lot of traveling. So there I was. And about 20 minutes before we landed in Chicago, the captain came on and said the steering had gone out of the plane. I didn't know what that meant. So he began to tell us what that meant. He said, whatever way the wheels came down would be how the airplane would roll. So if they came down straight, great. If they came down turned to the left, the plane would turn to the left. If they came down turned to the right, the plane would turn to the right. Well, guess what? If they came down to the left or the right, that meant the plane was going on its side. I didn't want the plane to go on its side because I knew what that meant. So here we are. The stewardesses are coming out and they're telling us what we need to do to prepare for a crash landing. What? A crash landing? Yeah, a crash landing. So here we are. We have to get our head down. We have to take our shoes off. And we have to look for the lights on the floor. We have to locate our nearest exit. All the things prepare us to get off that plane safely, if we can. So what do you do in those 20 minutes? At that time, there weren't phones on the plane, so I couldn't call anybody and say, I may not ever see you again. And so here we go. I'm praying. I'm asking the Lord for forgiveness. I'm excited about seeing him face to face, but I'm also fearful. I've never seen Jesus face to face before. Am I good enough? Have I done everything that I'm supposed to do? Then Jesus reminds me, you're my child. When you asked me to come into your heart and live with you, I did. So you have nothing to be afraid of. You have everything to be joyful about, to live with me eternally and feel no more pain, no more fear. Just be with him for eternity. And wow, that made a big difference. And then I don't remember being afraid after that. I listened around the plane, thinking that there might be people crying or yelling or, I didn't know what to expect. But there was none of that. It was eerily quiet. So I think hopefully everybody was praying. So here we go. They then prepare us for the chute in case the chute comes out and we have to go down the chute. And they tell us that that's a place where a lot of people get injured. And so there's certain precautions that we had to take. Now, mind you, I'm not good at following directions under duress. So trying to look for the lights and the nearest exit and all of that, is kind of unnerving for me. But guess what? We made it. When the wheels came down, it was one of the smoothest landings I've ever had. Figure that one out. And so when we looked out the window before we landed, however, there were all of these emergency vehicles everywhere. The lights were flashing, there were ambulances, there were police cars, there were people from the airport that were out there. And so they were expecting the plane to have a problem. I had to get on another plane after that to go to Green Bay, Wisconsin. So I was not looking forward to doing that at all. So, you know, God has a way of handling every emergency, doesn't he, that we have. You can be sure that whenever your time is done, Jesus will be waiting for you with open arms. Open arms. And if you have not accepted Christ as your Savior and ask him to come into your heart, please do so. Do so right now. It's so easy. You just have to say, Lord, please, please come into my heart. Forgive me for my sins. Bring me your joy and your peace and your love, most of all your love. And help me do everything that you would have me do. Help me be the kind of person that you want me to be. And he will. That joy will come. You will feel so much better. The burdens will be lifted away. And he is there. He will be there for you all the time. So, you know, he's waiting. He's waiting right now. He wants to hear from you. He loves you. And some people have a hard time hearing that because they don't feel very loved. They don't feel like people really care that much about them. But Jesus does. Jesus does. He has a love that we can't even imagine. If we think we love people here, his love is more intense, and his love is forever, and he wants to share it with you. So go to him and have a great day in the Lord. Thank you for sharing Mary's moments with God.